I, 27 female, am bi, and I was born into a strict and religious family. When I was 22, I was dating a woman, and some concerned citizen told my brother, now 35, was 30 at the time. He told me he knew everything and gave me an ultimatum to tell our parents, or he would. I begged and cried for him not to, but my parents disowned me and withdrew their financial support for college. I had 1 year left. It took me an extra 3 years to graduate because I had to drop down to part-time so I could work, all the while couch surfing and barely making it by, as almost all my earnings were going to school. It was tough, but I made it. He has a twin daughter, my niece. Her mother died when she was only a toddler, and my brother's been a single dad. Dated here and there, but couldn't find the one. He contacted me out of nowhere, saying his daughter's aching for a female adult figure in her life, especially since starting puberty. I suggested our mom, but my niece doesn't feel comfortable with someone old. He never apologized or acknowledged what he did. He just said God commands us to forgive, and he's willing to overlook my transgressions. And I said, even God doesn't forgive without sincere repentance. Read your Bible. They cut me off, and my life has been better without them. I know she's innocent in all this, but I don't want my family back in my life, especially my brother after what he did. I hate him, but if I'm in contact with my niece, I'd have to be with him and my parents, and they're a package deal. Am I the idiot for refusing to mentor my niece because my brother calls my family to disown me? I know she's innocent in all this. She is, but your brother's her baggage, and he made your life a nightmare by outing you to your parents. You don't ever have to let someone like that into your life. You are not the idiot. His daughter's aching for a female adult figure in her life. Maybe if he worked to no longer be an idiot, he could find a new woman. He didn't need you, and he outed you. He needs you now, so he wants you to forgive and forget? Ugh, stay away from users. Maybe I'm too jaded, but all I can think is that OP's brother's the type who doesn't really want his daughter to have female companionship. He just wants a free babysitter. I hope his daughter isn't too scarred by him, but no partner deserves to have to deal with someone like him. Poor kid lost her mom and has a bigoted idiot for a dad. I feel for her, but OP needs to protect her peace and leave the toxic ones behind. I think the niece could greatly benefit from hanging out with her aunt if she correctly identified her father as an intolerant bigot, as many children of conservative people do. Don't get me wrong, OP still has no obligation here, but I've seen too many teens get caught in these religious cults, dying for a lifeline from someone not drinking the Kool-Aid. Tell him that you're more than happy to take your niece to a pride parade and see if he's still willing for you to mentor your niece after that, since he still calls you a transgressor. Agree to only spend one-on-one time with the niece and try to pull her away from the terrible indoctrination she was born into. Teach her real-life values, compassion, acceptance, and actual facts of life. Give her resources to see how hateful her family is, so she doesn't grow up to be like them, and she knows she'll have support should she decide to walk away when she's older. Good luck. I'm currently 7 months pregnant, and I give my friend a ride to work. I've been doing this the last year because they lived 3 minutes away from me when I was in my old apartment, and I continued to do the favor when I moved in with my partner. I'm going on maternity leave next month, and my friend has no idea how she's getting to and from work. She's been trying to figure it out since I found out I was pregnant, but she can't drive. There are no driving schools nearby. The closest one is 2 hours away, and they have no family to help them. I said I wish I could help, but giving her rides while I'm on maternity leave and driving with the newborn at 6 a.m. just isn't happening. Today she suggested I ask my partner, my baby's father, if he would drive her, and I said no, I'm not asking. We have to be at work at 6:30, and my partner has to be at work at 7:30. We live 10 to 15 minutes from my friend, and our job is 20 minutes away from his job. I'm not making my partner wake up earlier than he normally does to get ready for work and drive my friend to work because she can't find a ride. She made a joke, saying that he should because it's his fault that I had to go out of work because he got me pregnant, and as a friend, she would appreciate the favor. I said I wish we could help, but I'm not asking him. She's upset with me because I won't even ask. Still, I already know my partner would say yes, because he has people-pleaser tendencies, so I'm making the decision for him. Then she brought up how she wouldn't have taken the job that I helped her get if she knew we wouldn't be able to carpool anymore. She figured it out when I couldn't give her rides due to illness or appointments, but now I feel like she's trying to guilt me and keeps insisting I just ask and won't drop it. Am I the idiot? It's so nice to read about someone who protects their partner from being taken advantage of. Absolutely not the idiot. It would be a good idea to give him a heads up anyway. Your friend sounds entitled enough to go behind your back to ask him directly, and if he isn't prepared for it, he might say yes, just from being put on the spot. Also, he's going to be a darn dad to a newborn. He should be on paternity leave himself, because fitting anything else in will be very hard. He will not have time for anything extra, in any way. No chance. He will need help, just like OP. And let's face it, he's going to need all the sleep he can get. So expecting him to wake up extra early to take a grown adult who he's not even involved with to work is crazy. How tragic. If only we had a way to summon rides by phone or smartphone where someone could come to drive us places for a fee. We could call it something like a taxi or Uber or Lyft. Until she learns to drive, there's a solution. Is she 15? Why has she never learned to drive? Let me guess. She always found a friend to mooch off of. Exactly. You both seem like people pleasers, and your friend is so used to taking advantage of you that she dares to expect you to inconvenience your partner so she can get a ride to the job she has because of you. You might be the idiot for asking if you're the idiot for not putting yourself and your partner first. My boyfriend of 2 years has a tween daughter who just started her first period 3 days ago. He has full custody of her, and they began making transitions to move in with me and my pre-tween son about 2 weeks ago. Up until this point, everything was going fairly well. The kids got along, and I thought Diane was a nice enough kid. Anyway, 3 days ago, she walked out of her bedroom and told me she thought she had started her period. She was asking me general questions about how to wear a pad, what she can and can't do, etc. All is well. I let her stay home from school after calling my boyfriend at work to confirm plans and give him the rundown. She was crampy. I worked from home, so it was no issue. All day, she interrupted my business calls to talk about her period. It was annoying, but I just dealt with it because it was her first period, so obviously there were going to be a lot of questions. This wasn't even the problem. It was what followed it. She was in a great mood all day, but as soon as my boyfriend and my son got home from work, my home turned into a war zone. My son asked if she wanted to play with him, and she screamed in his face, "I'm on my period," and literally pushed him out of her doorway. He went flying and hit the wall, bruised his shoulder and hit his head on the doorframe. My boyfriend went to talk to her and she started crying. "I'm on my period. I don't want him near me." He gave her a pass for her behavior, which made me angry. The next day, we planned a beach day, like a week ago planned it, and Diane started flipping out to the point of a full tantrum, screaming at my boyfriend and me, and telling us that no, we would not still be going to the beach because she's on her period and can't swim, and since she can't, none of us can, and she doesn't care if that bothers us. My boyfriend canceled the trip, or tried to. I told him I was still bringing my kid regardless. We got back home at 3 p.m. When I left, I had a pot of chili in the slow cooker for dinner. Half the pot was gone. Diane had been eating out of the slow cooker. My boyfriend told me that Diane said the only thing she wanted was chili, and that since she was on her period, he had to let her. He listened to her. There wasn't enough to feed everyone now. We send the kids to bed at 8 p.m. She comes out at 9, telling her father that she needed ice cream or she was going to snap. He originally said no. She started freaking out, crying, screaming, wakes up my son. He ends up going and getting her the darn ice cream instead of being a parent and snipping that crap in the bud. This morning, my boyfriend told her that she could stay home from school again because she was still on her period. I told him no, I'm working today, and she interrupted me all day on my last work day. She started flipping out, screaming at me that I was not doing anything to make her comfortable when that's what she needed right now. My boyfriend sides with her. It's her first period. We need to learn to navigate it. I told him again that she was not staying here today. He gets angry with me and says I'm making his life harder than it has to be. His kid is still screaming at me. So I snapped and told them to pack all their crap and leave, and that I was done. Said that I was glad she started her period so soon into moving in so that I could get a proper assessment of how it would be full-time, and I would be darned if I put up with that BS every month. They both immediately calmed down. She starts crying, saying she was just trying to make me understand. He's telling me I'm being ridiculous. I stood firm, however, and told them to get out. They're now gone and my house is peaceful. I don't want them back here. My boyfriend's been blowing up my phone since, telling me that this is just a bump in the road, but I've never been so disgusted by anyone in my entire life. Am I the idiot for not letting them return and telling him I'm done? Edit. I did speak to her about her aggression yesterday. I told her that it wasn't okay to put her hands on people, to scream in my face, to demand we cater to her and break things. She says I'm on my period. Nothing I do right now can be held against me because I have no control. This proves to me that she has control. She's using this as an excuse. Not the idiot. I think this is not just her period, but signs of a much bigger problem where she's manipulative as heck. And your boyfriend always caves into her when she acts badly, instead of being a parent and putting a stop to the behavior. And he's also showing you that he'll always take her side over you, no matter how bad her behavior is. She's also going to bully your son. He deserves to have a peaceful and safe home and not have to live with a bully. Living with them will be a nightmare if you let them stay. You have the opportunity to dodge the bullet at this moment. Out of curiosity, where could she have seen this type of behavior? Honestly, it sounds like she saw it in some movie or whatever and is exaggerating hard. She's just weaponizing her period. Yikes. The fact that she assaulted your son would have been enough for me. Your boyfriend will always side with his child. You made the right decision, and the timing was perfect sooner rather than later. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Do not let them back into your home. Keep your peace. I'm sure your son appreciates it. Your now ex is putting his daughter first, so you should put your son first. He's not even putting his daughter first. He's encouraging her to grow into a queen witch. OP's lucky to get a glimpse of the future so early on. Good riddance. Lady, you can get a better boyfriend. He didn't care about your feelings, your son's injury. Nothing but his poor baby girl, that her tummy hurts. Not worth it. My male 30, ex, female 28, broke up with me 4 months ago to take a job overseas. It sucked, but I dealt. She left behind some stuff which is still in storage, and her dog James. She's had James for 12 years. I only made his acquaintance 6 years ago. We are bros. James was very cool with staying with me. He's used to my apartment and my neighborhood. I made sure to keep his diet and routine the same because he was an old fusspot and would whine if I got him a treat that he hadn't tried before until I tried to take it away. Then he would snatch it up and run under my bed. Unfortunately, he got a twisted stomach. He was an old dog, and the vet said that the surgery would be expensive and that there would be no guarantee that James would wake up. I cried my eyes out and asked the vet to please send James over the Rainbow Bridge. My ex's mom saw me the other day and asked about James. I told her what happened and she said she was sorry, but she also called her daughter, who then called me to call me a petty idiot for putting down her dog to spite her. I hung up and blocked her on everything. I did everything I could to keep him happy after she left. I didn't do this to hurt her. I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do for James. I could have contacted her to pay for the surgery, but she takes days and weeks to get back to me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She left an older dog you clearly loved in your care when she left the country. He was your dog in every sense after the breakup. It is amazingly narcissistic for her first thought to be that you killed her dog out of spite or whatever to hurt her. You're blessed to have gotten out of a relationship with her. I'm deeply sorry for the loss of your beloved pet. You are the idiot. You should have tried to call her, ideally when the vet gave you the options. Clearly her mother was able to get a hold of her. Why the heck are so many people saying she abandoned the dog? Depending on the country, it can be really hard to bring in a dog, and the travel and the possible quarantine can be incredibly stressful. An elderly dog may not survive it. And I'd hate my beloved pet to die in a quarantine facility. The ex probably did the best thing for the dog by leaving it with OP, who also loved it. Leaving a dog behind while you move away is basically abandonment. What else would you call that? It doesn't matter if he was old or young. A twisted stomach isn't a condition. You can wait days or weeks until you deal with it. James was fortunate that the OP recognized there was something wrong and took immediate action. Price or not, you made the correct choice. You chose a humane, peaceful end. You didn't let him suffer. He was your pet, not hers. Let her be a petty idiot. She wasn't there to make the hard choices. You were. So here's a bit of background. I don't like tattoos. I find them off-putting and unattractive, and I don't think they look good on anyone, man or woman. It's entirely 100% a me problem. Intellectually, I know there's nothing wrong with tattoos. They're a great form of self-expression, and they can be moving and meaningful and all that jazz. I know that. It's just a visceral gut reaction I have that causes this particular hang-up. My wonderful wife of 13 years wants to get a tattoo. She knows I don't care for them, and she asked me what I thought about her getting one. I said tattoos weren't my favorite, but it was her body and her business, and I would love her just the same if she got one. Maybe not a super well-phrased answer, but she grumpily accepted it. Now she'd like me to help her design the tattoo and or make it a tattoo in my handwriting, maybe. I said I wasn't sure I was super comfortable with that and that she should do what she wanted to do, but I didn't really want to be involved in the process. She didn't like that reply. She's now upset because she says that I'm making her feel like she can't get a tattoo and she'll never get one now, even though she's always wanted one. I feel like she wants me to be excited about this, and I really want her to do what she wants, but I'm not excited about it, and I just don't know if I can pretend to be. That's not a permanent lie I care to commit to. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. To be honest, if she can't come up with a tattoo idea she likes herself, she might not be ready for a tattoo. But if she's determined to get one without having something in mind, she could always find a local tattoo artist she likes and go through their books to pick something. It's fine if she wishes you liked it more, but she shouldn't take it out on you, which is how I'm reading your statement that she's upset. You feel how you feel. My take was that she wanted your involvement so that, at the very least, it's not something you absolutely hate, and ideally, something that you'd be like, oh, that would actually be pretty cool, and kind of like. She was thinking that if you helped pick or did your handwriting, you'd then get excited about it and emotionally invested. As partners, you will not be 100% in alignment on everything, nor will you always like each other's aesthetic choices 100%. Let's take out the word tattoo and insert canned sardines instead. The smell of sardines makes you ill, but your wife wants to try them. Not at a friend's house or sometimes when you aren't home. No, she wants you to open the can, make the sandwich and feed it to her, knowing you can't stand the smell. Sounds abusive to me. Good luck with that.